Welcome. In this video I'm going to be telling you about some hobby plans more than I am about any painting that I've managed to achieve, because I haven't actually achieved any real painting or modelling in the last period of time since the previous hobby video. Instead, what I've been doing is planning my potential next game on this table that I've set up for my 6mm World War II Eastern Front collection. And you can see it in front of you here in the form of some of the tanks that I've got out. And here's the clue. It's this. So this is GMT's Panzer board game. Now, I have this and I also have the Eastern Front expansion for it as well. And I've enjoyed playing it as a board game with the counters and obviously using the maps and so on. But then I thought to myself, and perhaps some of you out there have done the same, I wonder if I could adapt this for miniatures, so you can see them here before you. And actually, a few years ago, before I got this, I did try and write myself a set of rules potentially, just out of interest. And I found actually in the research for that, I came across GMT, so I came across the Panzer game, and I realised that when I flicked through the rules when I actually got it, that, well, actually I'd come up with a lot of similar concepts. Not all the same, but there's a lot of the same sort of underpinning thinking in it. And I thought, well, that's mine in the bin, and GMT will do for me. And as I say, I've enjoyed the board game, so I've decided to try and convert it for miniatures. Now, I think the major obstacle to that will be the ground scale, so I mean, obviously they're quite small, and converting the movement rates from hexes to something I can use on the table, and also the ranges as well, so that all those kind of things make sense. However, I'm pretty optimistic that should be fairly easy to overcome in the first instance. I do have some ideas. And so just as a start of a 10 on that, I've set the table up with some terrain, as you can see here, and picked out some sort of roughly matched forces. So on the Russian side here, you've got a company of T-34s, some T-70s, and a little platoon attached, and some Su-122 assault guns as well at the back there, just to give a little spread of the different kinds of armoured vehicles available. And then on the German side, this being sort of mid-1943 to perhaps across either side of the sort of Kursk-esque timeline, here's a mixture of different armour marks. So I've roughly gone with the idea of some of the Panzer divisions, like 11th Panzer Division, who had a mixture of Panzer IIIs and IVs in relatively large platoons and companies, as they had not finished converting to their new TOEs. And so you've got some Panzer IIIMs in there, you've got some Panzer IV-G or F2s, mixture of shirts and skirts, and a Panzer III-N in there as well, just for a bit of extra, getting some more models on the table, which is also why there's a couple of Stugs and a Panzer II there. I just wanted to see how this would go on the table with a variety of different vehicles, really, and obviously I want to get some more miniatures out of the box and get them rolling some dice for a change. But what I have tried to do is curb my enthusiasm and not get too carried away and complicated and introduce infantry and everything else that you potentially could do. The two forces are roughly similar at the moment in terms of numbers, but the difference is the Germans here, because they're Panzer IIIs, yes, they've got more armour at this stage in the war, and they've got the long-barreled 5cm guns. They're going to struggle to get through the front armour of the T-34s, so the Germans are going to have to try and rely on the qualitative advantage of their crews and their training, etc., but also the long barrel guns of the Panzer IVs and the Stugs that are there. In any case, my intention is to get this game set up and have a roll of the dice and execute a few different concepts that I've thought of over the next week, and I will let you know how I get on with all of that. In the meantime, happy hobbying, and I'll see you in the next one.